All right, so we are going to go over answering questions using text evidence. So last week you guys made a magnifying glass, and the magnifying glass is supposed to help you remember finding text evidence. So text evidence is simply when you read a passage or even watch a movie or a story is read to you, it's information from that passage, information from that story, that magazine article, the newspaper article, information from the article that supports why you think an answer should be answered that way. So it has to be you have to use specific information from the passage. So you have to be a detective and you have to look, okay, so I read this passage. Now, why do I think this? It's because of this from that passage. So are going to be focusing on that a lot this year. Finding text evidence supports your answer. This is so important because it tells how good of a reader, because we want you to be a good reader. We want you to read for information. We want you to be a reader that remembers what you've read. We want you to be a reader that you learn something from reading. So when you have to answer something using text evidence, it actually takes a little bit more thought. You sometimes, a lot of times, have to go back to the passage, find that particular information to answer the question. So this week you'll be reading two passages. You're going to be reading New Kid in School, and then you're going to be reading Singing Out. And then you're going to answer some questions using text evidence. So the question says, how are Nina and Jaden alike at the beginning of the stories? Use text evidence information from the story to complete your answers. Text evidence. So I've made an outline here to help you answer text evidence questions. Even if it doesn't say answer in text evidence, use maybe they might say use information from the stories to complete your answer. Use solid information. They might say, why do you think this way? It's because you want to use that text evidence always. In any questions, so I'm going to really be grading hard on text evidence. Now, they don't have to be paragraphs. You just have to be a complete answer. Now, it might be several sentences depending on if there are more than one piece of text evidence that you need to state. So, we're going to go over the outline that I have for you. It makes it really simple. Text evidence questions. When you answer questions, you need to make sure you're answering them in complete sentences, using part of the question in your answer, which we worked a lot on last year, and using text evidence information from the story to back up your answer. So, for example, the example question, okay? This is just an example. State why or why not you think the puppy was energetic. So from a passage, say you're reading about this puppy, and but it asks you why or why not, why or what, state why or why not you think the puppy was energetic. So use text evidence on why you think this. First, state your answer. Look at the words in red. These are what you would write. The puppy was energetic. This is part of your sentence. Then choose one response to below to respond to the question. One of these responses down here, because the text states, the author stated, for instance, in the text, within the reading I found, I know this because in the text. So you can just use one of those every single time you're answering text evidence questions. And I'll be giving you this outline every single time. And there'll also be a page you can print out. You can put on a corkboard or by your computer in a writing folder. You can use this. So choose one response below. So one of these. So I chose because the text states. Then state why you think that this according to information from the text you read. So according to this is just a made up question. because the text states that he was jumping all over the boy. So from the story, this made-up story, why why or why not you think the puppy was energetic. So here, the words in red is right here. The puppy was energetic, not just the puppy was energetic. You don't want to just say that. You have to use information from the passage. So the puppy was energetic because the text states that he was jumping all over the boy. That means that he was energetic, right? So these are the phrases you should answer text evidence questions. So you can pick these, and I suggest that you try using um, each one of them because you don't want to just choose one to answer every single question. It'll get boring to you, and if you vary up the way you respond to questions, it's better. So let's go over ways you can respond to text evidence questions. So because the text states, so we just went over a sentence that used that. The puppy was energetic because the text states that he was jumping all over the boy. You can respond this way. The author stated. So let's say, for instance, this was a question. The party was a success. I know this because the author stated that everyone was smiling and dancing and forgetting about the fire that just happened a few days ago. Whoa. Okay, you could respond by for instance in the text. So there are many reasons why Mary liked the piano. For instance, in the text, I found that it helped her remain calm because it said she would sit quietly and listen to the piano for hours. Sitting means that she is calm and not jumping around wildly. That's a fantastic answer. So here, this was 1, 2, 3 sentences long. The more information you add to explain, the better your answer is going to be. Up here, there was 2 sentences. This first one was only 1. So use as many sentences in order to explain your answer. You can respond by using within the reading I found. Many people are afraid of snakes. Within the reading I found at least 4 people who were terrified to be near them. So this is just a way to answer better answers. You can also respond, I know this because in the text. It's a long way from Africa to Chicago. I know this because in the text it says it takes 8.5 hours to fly there. So remember, we're using these phrases to help us answer text evidence questions better. So these will be an outline given to you can use, and you can use that today to answer this question. How are Nina and Jaden alike at the beginning of the stories? You can answer that in a couple of sentences. How are Nina and Jaden? So Nina and Jaden are alike at the beginning of the stories in a couple different ways. And then I would say I could choose one of these because the text states, because we can say, because the text, we can say Nina and Jaden are alike at the beginning of the story because the text states this, this, and this. So you have to read the stories in order to answer these questions. Or you could say Nina and Jaden are alike at the beginning of the story because the author states clearly that Nina what and Jaden what. Nina and Jaden are alike. Why are they alike? And then you say the author stated this. Nina and Jaden are alike this way. I'm not going to tell you the answer. For instance, in the text, you have to explain how they are alike. And then you just answer those right down here. You can also use within the reading I found that Nina and Jaden were alike because this and this. Nina and Jaden are alike in a couple of different ways. I know this because in the text, this happened and this happened. So that's how you'll be answering them down here. It does not need to be in a paragraph. You have another question here. The 2 stories are here again for you. And this time it's how are Nina and Jaden how are Nina and Jaden, this is supposed to be different, different at the end of the stories. So I have to change that. Did I change it here? And then this next one, according to the story, Nina felt silly. Why did she feel silly? And you can answer a question again using your text evidence phrases and that's 3. So I have to go back here and change this question to how they're different. So you'll be answering 3 of those questions this week using text evidence. You're going to want to use text evidence in any question that you're responding to. You can do that in your ReadWorks as well as your reading workbook pages. There's lots of questions there as well, because you always want to back up a statement with text evidence information from a passage. All right. We will go over this on a group call, but this is just to help you or remind you, or if possibly you have to miss on Monday or you're working ahead. All right. Have a great one. Bye-bye.